I'm Sam Peterson, author of two nearly award-winning books, Drunky, Transgender Junkie, and Sugar, a memoir of craving. I'm an old gay trans guy with bad teeth, with an insatiable love for knives, and I'm not going to rate them or show you the latest, newest, or fanciest, but I will queerly share my queer love of knives with you. I have been down all week, having had wrist surgery. Evidently, when you reach 62, all the shit you did as a youngin' catches up with you. Not only did I have 2 tears in my tendons, it's a lot of alliteration, I had a bunch of arthritis and crap floating around in the wrist ether. So they went in and they cleaned her up, but good. It has been painful, but mostly I've just been too tired to write about anything. Until this. My Tactile Dreadeye came in the mail. Now, since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to carry a knife around in a sheath. I grew up on incredibly white supremacist doctrines of cowboys and Indians and stuff. Crap that is perfectly abhorrent now and should be, but also pirates. Man, did I love some pirate stuff. We had an album of pirate songs when I was a kid that my parents got us. And I still remember one of the songs. It was, Jean Lafitte, Jean Lafitte, Jean Lafitte was a mighty buccaneer. He's something, something old and something, something gold, but he never went to sea. Never did I envision myself as a cowboy. I really resonated with my childish fantasy of wearing nothing but a breechcloth and a belt with a knife, living with nature or being on a boat, my sword tucked in the silk scarf wound around my waist. These fantasies persist into adulthood. They are the underpinnings of my love for being outdoors, for camping in my tiny hand-built teardrop camper, gasping up the mountains of North Carolina, one knife at my hip, one around my neck, and the other in my pocket. My teardrop was designed by boat builders, so it's kind of a land ship. While I'm more wheezing and huffing for air as I hike straight up Hanging Rock than I am pillaging and plunging. It still adheres in a fundamental way to my fantasy of knife-wearing adventures. The Dreadeye has to be the most piratey name for a blade that they've come up with yet. It is also my first non-neck fixed blade. I have the QSP Canary and the MKM Micro, but so beautiful, right? As well as this tiny boker here. But the Tactile Dreadeye is the first dedicated to the hip knife that I have. The other guys are really neck knives. I could put it in my pocket, I suppose, but in its Kydex sheath, it's pretty large. As a blade in hand, though, it's perfect. It's just the size of a medium to small folder. I love wearing this thing. I particularly enjoy wearing my Drag is Not a Crime t-shirt with my sheath knife at my hip. I feel it's time we queerdos proclaim our love for traditionally non-queer things. I can be a flaming trans guy homo and still love knives. I don't have to be some butch thing in camos, although I could be. It fits my fantasy, even though I look like a doofus wearing it. And baby, the fantasy is everything. Maybe that's what knives are for many of us, just a conduit for our fantasies, whatever that might look like. Maybe your fantasy is hypermask survivalist person. Maybe it's I can do anything with this Q-tip and a folder, MacGyver dude, or maybe it's I look badass with this thing. How about it goes with my ensemble? Knives are very much there to support our personal infrastructure, the one bolstering our ego, telling us that we matter in this soft, mushy, dying planet. I mean, let's face it, no matter what your fantasy is, we're killing the planet, so you might as well enjoy your fantasy as long as you recycle first. Back to the Dreadeye. I know, it's gotten some mixed reviews on the web. I do like something a tad slicier, but fixed blades seem to be a little thicker in steel, and it's pretty slicey. But it's a very handsome blade with an interesting dual-shaped edge. It's made by those superb craftspeople over at Tactile Pen Company, turn knife makers, and their machining abilities are nonpareil. I mean, damn. It is my first knife from this maker, and it won't be my last, I hope. Their knives have always been a little slightly too pricey for my taste or for my budget. The Bear is $199, but I'm not crazy about a non-flipping folder. You know, a folder that just folds. I need some fidget. The Dreadeye doesn't come with fidget, but it does come with a reasonable slab of Magna Cut steel. That's its lure for sure. Grade S steel. I didn't think I would tire of M390, but thanks knife makers, that's where we are. And Magna Cut is very sexy. But in the meantime, me and my very Western style Tonto blade affixed to my hip are going outdoors. Between a recent rotator cuff surgery and now this wrist, I'm a tad too banged up to go gallivanting into the woods, carving sticks and shaving bark. But in my mind, I am still that little kid, hunkered by the creek, wearing a washcloth tucked over my belt as a breechcloth, at one with the water, the earth, the sky. Only instead of carefully chipped obsidian or chert, I have a slab of finely milled Richlite micarta and nearly 3 glorious inches of hardened up to HRC 65 steel. If that can't bolster my little knife-coveting ego, I don't know what can. Until the next knife.